Hot damn. Oh, there you go. Right one for you, right before I even begin. How wonderful. So, I have paroxysmal kinesigenic dyskinesia, but what the hell does that even mean, right? If we break it down, paroxysmal refers to the fact that the episodes come and go. Kinesigenic means triggered by movement, and dyskinesia refers to involuntary movement in the body. So that alone should give you a pretty good idea of what the hell I have is, but let's break it down further. PKD is a rare hyperkinetic movement disorder. It affects only about 1 in 250,000 people, and there's two ways of getting it, or two ways of having the disorder. Oh, there's one for the outtakes. Oh, fuck me. There's primary PKD, which is believed to be caused by a mutation in the PRRT2 gene. And there's secondary PKD, which can be caused by a whole range of medical conditions such as multiple sclerosis, stroke, and this one's a mouthful, pseudohypoparathyroidism. Did I say that right? Oh my lord, I said that right. Anyways, it can be caused by those or a whole lot more actually. I believe the one I have is primary. Not only that, but some of the episodes can get so bad they can actually bring you down to the ground, make you fall over, like I've had happen multiple times. Here's an example. And here's a couple more clips of me seizing up. These symptoms were first described in 1892 by Shuzo Kure, a doctor and professor at the University of Japan. Here he is. There's his face. The onset of the disorder typically comes around childhood or adolescence, like it did in my case. And something that I never really saw described in any of the research papers I've read or anything like that, but it appears that the onset of the disorder it kind of creeps on you slowly, but it definitely did in my case. When I was about 14 years old, I would say, I started to have little cramps in my toes. I used to call them cramps. Like I couldn't control my toes, and they would twitch a little bit when I would stand up, and I found that kind of odd. And though as a scared kid and everything, I didn't talk about it to my parents. I didn't bring it up or anything, and I just wrote it off as some sort of like potassium or fucking magnesium deficiency, because those have to do with movement, and that's what I thought I had. And slowly, it went from my toes to my leg, and it started to creep up my leg, and then it would happen, like my leg might curl a little bit to one side, and then it started to creep into my body and into my hands, and it was only happening unilaterally in like either my left or my right side at a time. And then I started having it in both, or where it would happen in the left and then switch to the right, and like it would creep across me. You can sort of feel these episodes coming on. It's called a sensory prodrome, but it's described more as like an aura, like a spidey sense. It's like a strange tingle, and epileptics, people with epilepsy, kind of describe the same feeling, and I think that makes sense. And the entire time I hid this for about maybe 2 years or so from my parents and everything. And then one day I stood up and my grandma saw me, and yeah, I couldn't hide it. She asked what it was and rightfully freaked out. And yeah, that's when the diagnosis process began. And honestly, let me say that the diagnosis process was probably definitely was more frightening and more draining and tiresome than the disorder itself. Like, I'm completely fine to have it, but the process to figure that out was hell. So it started with the tests and, the diagnostics and all that, Went to my normal doctor and they took a blood sample, they take urine, all that, check all my vitals, do all that, and I'm 100% clean. I'm good. So, then I get an EEG and that's nothing at all. Nothing's happening there. And at that point, they said, all right, well, it's probably genetic and we're sending you to neurology. And that's when I kind of freaked out because you don't want to hear it's probably genetic from a doctor. That's low on the list of things you want to hear from a doctor. It's not a good phrase typically, and doesn't mean good things ahead. So yeah, they sent me to neurology, and that's when I got a CAT scan. I got an MRI, and after waiting for the technicians to do all that and waiting 2 weeks, and it comes back 100% fine, nothing abnormal in the MRI scan. And after my MRI scan and all that, I finally got to meet with my neurologist. And after describing the symptoms with him, after just one session, he diagnosed me with PKD, and he gave me a prescription for 100 milligrams of carbamazepine taken orally, 50 milligrams in the morning and 50 milligrams at night, and sent me on my way. That day, I walked out of the pharmacy with a pill bottle, and yeah, I've never looked back. I've taken them daily since, and it deals with the episodes perfectly. They go away, and I'm 100% normal. Honestly, this whole ordeal and everything just gave me a lot more respect for my health, a lot more gratitude for having actual control over your own body, and I was just happy to learn that I wasn't going to end up in a wheelchair after all that. And even when you think about like all the disorders I could have had, this one I got off pretty easy. It comes in episodes, then goes, and it responds really well to medication. No, I'm just happy to have my health, and happy I was able to get it diagnosed so quickly, because I hear other people go through a lot more before they find something that actually works for them. So, yeah. Also, I just wanted to add this little part. This YouTube channel, Subprimer Bina, they made a video about, what was it, 3 years ago, called I Take Pills So I Don't Dance. And, it was intriguing to hear somebody else who had the movement disorder, but then I decided to take a closer look at his channel and look at some of his other videos, and what I found is just strange. Literally, for the past year, all of his videos, most of them, 99% of his videos, is singing the Friend Like Me Genie song from Aladdin. He's done it every week for 45 weeks, still going it seems, and apparently all of this started because of a joke on Twitter. I just wanted to say, dude, I hope you're watching this, because I want to commend you. That is fucking commitment for a joke right there. I love this kind of humor. I don't have the commitment to do this kind of shit. So, yeah, fucking thanks for that. If there's anybody else out there that has the disorder, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys, because I know there's more of us. I hope you guys enjoyed listening and, hearing about my strange little movement disorder. And, more Let's Talk About Random Things episodes coming in the future. See ya! Bye!